Hi everyone, it's Bobby. I have finished my Gnome for the Holidays album. This is a trifold. It is absolutely the cutest paper. I had these little sunflowers in my stash, so I used those on the front, and I used some dies to make circles. This is one of the stickers I just backed on some cardstock, and this is one of the ephemeras. And I kept the spines and the back very simple. It is secured with a ribbon, 2 ribbons actually. And these little gold dots I had in my stash, they came from another, I think they were from another kit that Tammy had sent me, and I hadn't used them all up. Okay, whoops, that's coming out. Okay, when you open it up, we have a photo frame up here. Here, I've got a little piece of cardstock. You can see your photo will go right in here. And then here we have a small waterfall, just 3 pages, 1, 2, and 3. And then this little booklet holds it closed, and it's got photo mats on the inside and the plaid on the back. Just goes in there and keeps it closed. Then in the center, we have a little pocket, big pocket. And there is a tutorial after this that shows you how everything was made and gives you all the measurements and the score lines. So this little flap lifts up, and there's a photo mat here. This one lifts up. We have a large photo mat on the top. Let me see, are you seeing it all? Large photo mat on the top. And then in the bottom, it folds down. And trying to make sure I'm in frame. There we go. There is a pocket here with a photo mat. That's a pocket, goes all the way down. And I forgot to put anything in it. Okay, this little flap, these flaps open. And we have an insert here that will hold tags, photo mats, whatever. It has a little pocket here, but that has a ribbon on it, and I've smashed my ribbon. But it's a deep pocket and real roomy. And it's just plain on the back. I have these little doily dies in my stash, and I just love using them as a background. They just are so cute. And this says, "Today we gather with grateful hearts," and one of the little pilgrim people. And I have this tag with a smashed bow. And I just added design paper. This is just your standard size tag. One of the stickers on black cardstock, a second little tag, and this word "gobble gobble" came from the branding strip on one of the pages. And then I have a photo mat on the back, and I just made this with embossing folder that I had in my stash. Then we have a larger insert. This one says, "I am thankful for," and then there's plenty of places to write what you're thankful for. And this is held with a magnet. Have photo mats throughout this. There's all of that. And then on the back, we have 2 smaller photo mats, and it's loose up under the pumpkin so that you can stick your photos under there. And then on the inside of that back piece, I decorated with the stickers, the little banner, swag banner, 3 of the leaves. This one says "Fall is in the air," and then there's a little gnome here. And this is loose so that you can stick photos back there, or journaling spots, whatever you want to put in there. So let's close that up. And I just have these little bees in my stash, and I just use them to weight down the string so it stays in place better. I have quite a few little charms in my stash. Okay, then on the right side, we have a magnetic band. There's the pocket on the top of this flap. Oh, I hope it didn't stick. No, it didn't. Okay. And this is a glassine bag that I made, and I did color it with Distress Oxide. And I just have a plain little white tag in there for now. I haven't done anything with it. I have another one of those doilies, a small tag that I have a punch that makes these. This Autumn Days and this came from the sticker sheet, and this is a die that I had in my stash. Then when you open it, we have another pocket on the inside, and this is a plain glassine bag that I made, and I show you in the tutorial how to make these. They're so easy. You don't have to worry about going to the store and buying more. I just used some scraps of my leftover paper, one of the little Gnome stickers on some black cardstock, and then I made a large tag with a photo mat and a journal spot, one of the little stickers at the top, and then there's room for a large photo on the back. And it just slides in the little pocket. And then on this belly band, I decided to do diagonal belly band just for something different. And this is another one of the small tags. This photo frame was in the ephemera pack, and I just put a piece of Mylar behind it, one of the stickers, and this is another one of the branding strips that says Fall Blessings. And then on the back I put another photo mat. So that is my album. It took a while to make. There's so many little parts to it, but I really, really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to make. Super fun to make. I'm just going to put this one up under here for now. Well, maybe not. I might tear up might bend up my doily. It doesn't bend up in here. Alright, that is my project. I really enjoyed making this. I'm telling you, the papers are just getting better and better every year. They're just beautiful collections. I'm just really happy with everything that Tammy sends me. Or she only carries the high quality stuff anyway. You don't have to worry about ever getting anything that you won't be happy with her, because she only carries the finer. Well, what I do there wrong. I tied it wrong. That's my fault. Trying to tie it upside down. There we go, that's better. Makes more sense. Okay, all done. Hope you have a good day. If you enjoy this, I would like to hear from you. I'd love to hear your comments. And I will be back with you when I have another design team package ready. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Stay tuned for the tutorial now. Bye. Okay, guys, we are building the folio for the photo play package that I just shared recently called Gnome for the Holidays, the Thanksgiving edition. So what I have is, this is going to be a trifold. This piece is 7 by 9, and I just wrapped it with the black Artisan cardstock just to save time. And we'll put these pieces together. This one is 1 by 9. This one is 7/8 by 9. And these will attach to the inside of the back. Then I have 4.5 by 9, which will attach to the opposite side of this. And I have 4 by 9, and it will go here. So if you have watched any of the wrapping methods, you probably have seen those by now. They are so much easier to work with than doing the whole thing in one long piece. These are so easy. We're just going to trim off this excess here on these spine pieces. You'll want to go all the way into your fold, but close to it. And then trim it off just like that. Actually, we can take this one down a little bit more. And this is probably a little bit wider than what I need. I'll take a little bit off of it too. I usually leave 1 inch to 1.5 inches on each side, so that when I attach them, okay, this is going to go attached to that. This one attaches here, so that it looks like a book when it's all put together. And then I'll trim this one off the same. Our weather in Texas has been crummy, so I've been sniffling all day. And I'm stuck in the house because I found out yesterday morning that one of my patients that I saw last week tested positive for COVID. So I was tested yesterday, and now I have to stay home until I hear the results, which does not make me too happy. What is it, Kiwi? Kiwi, settle down. I don't know what he thinks he hears. One of the kids in the other part of the house. Okay, so let's put these together, and this is going to attach right up to the fold without going over. And we're going to do that with the art glitter glue. And you want to give it plenty of glue because you want a good contact. This is going to stay together forever. That is the intention anyway. I haven't had one come apart yet that I put together with the art glitter glue. Alright, just like that. Got my glue a little bit close to the edge. Get my bone folder down here. Okay, I'm going to do the opposite one, or the other side. Not really opposite. I guess it is, it's opposite end from that one. And let's put this one on here. I'm so glad Tammy came up with this method. I love it. And we'll turn it over and burnish this down real good. To make sure my edges match up good. Now we'll add this one on. Line it up as close as you can. Just like that. They're so easy to put together. Much more manageable than the other way. And one more piece. Make sure that's pressed down good. And turn it around this way. I work better from the right side. Okay. And we'll put this one down. Oops, it's not over close enough. Oops. Don't want to let it slide. Oops. Push too hard. Gotta keep it lined up. Okay. Oops. Did I not have enough glue on that? And I just pulled it right off. Don't want to do that. There we go. Okay. Now the only thing you have to decide is if you want the larger portion on the right or on the left. I think I'm going to do mine this way with the 4" over here and the 4.5 this way. But it makes just such an awesome album cover. So the next thing to do is to attach our spine covers, which is, this is 9, so we have 8 7/8 by 3, and I'll use score tape sheets to attach those. I don't have the score tape on it yet, but you do want to make sure that this doesn't come out even with this, so that you have a graduated drop there from your thicknesses, so you don't have one big lump here. So you want to just kind of stagger it over a little bit. Those, and then I'll come back and I'll get my score tape out and attach these, and then I'll come back and we'll do the hinges. Okay, we're building the inside. So first I'm going to work on the center back, and I have cut out 6 7/8 by 6.5, and I have scored it with the 6.5, I think is at the top. Yes, 6.5 at the top, at 1/2 3/4. And we're going to fold both of these under and burnish. And this is going to go at the top of the page so that we have a little bit of a pocket to put little goodies in, photos and journaling spots and tags, what have you. So we want to center it between this area so that we don't hit our score line, our fold line. And I'm going to attach it with the art glitter glue. And you just want to glue down the 1/2" section, not the 1/4. So we're going to go close to the top, as straight as we can get it, and centered just a hair below the top so that it doesn't hang out over to the right just a little bit. That looks pretty good right there. So we'll lift it up, burnish that down. And then the bottom section is 6 7/8 by 5.5, also scored at 1/2 3/4. So it's going to make a little bottom of the pocket. I'd like to fold them under to burnish them. Sometimes if you go this way, this wants to pucker and it distorts it. So I like to turn it under, but it's just a matter of preference. You can do whatever you want to do with yours. So again, we're just going to glue the 1/2" section, and we're going to go down to the bottom and match up our edges. So let me go up underneath so I can see what I'm doing. And I want to be down to the bottom. And I want it to match up on the sides. Sure, reinforce that 1/4 inch, and it looks like it's going to match. So we're going to put that down, reinforce our 1/4 inch here, and now we've got our little pocket with a 1/4 inch. Now I have two what I do with my little flanges. Now hold on a minute. I've mislaid my next pieces. I've got it over here somewhere. Those are already scored. Now the kids were in here. Oh, here they are. Kids were in here last night playing games. That's mine. I laid them aside. I thought they did. These are 2 flanges, both 6 by 3, and with a 3 at the top of your scoreboard. Again, you're going to do a 1/2 and 3/4. Okay, now the 3/4. This one, we do the 3/4 first, maybe that's easier. And then the 1/2. Have to work with it a little bit. Okay. Forgot to do my corner punch on those, but I do want to do corner punch. Let me grab that. I want the stub. Goodness. Got pieces coming out of there. I guess I better empty it. So we're going to punch the stub here. And on this one. And this one. Now these are 6 long, and the album itself is 9. So that leaves me 3 inches, so I need to drop down 1.5 inches from the top to make it center. So let me get my pencil, and I'll make myself a little mark from that 2nd score line at 1.5 inches. And I'll make one over here just to make sure I get them even, because I'm somewhat challenged in that area. And I know it. There's a mark there at 1.5 inches. So again, we're going to do blue on the 1/2 inch, and we're going to take it so that it sits right inside the edge of this, because I don't want it hanging out. Okay. Let's see where that's going to come right there. So that one right there, I think would be good. Let me make sure it's going to be hidden. Yes, that'll work. I want to burnish that down. I need to stud these two to make them all kind of go together. Alright, the other one going to be the same. And it's going to sit get an idea of where I need it to be. I want it to be on that fold. Make sure that's going to be, yeah, it's out of the way of the fold. And it'll be covered. Okay, we're good on that score. So let's burnish that down. Now I am going to cover the inside of this just to make it nice and balanced. This will close down here and I'll stud these. Get my punch in here. Okay. Now I am going to add a piece to the front of this, but it is going to be studded as well. And it is 5 by 4.5 and only scored one time at a 1/2 inch, and that is with the 4.5 at the top. So I'm going to burnish that. I'm not going to glue it down right now because I want to put my pattern paper down first, because this is not going to go all the way to the top. This is going to sit in the center of that so that I can hide a pocket under it. And then I'm going to have this tab attached to the top of that, and this one attached down here. But I'm not sure of the length of them just yet because I'm going to cut them off so that I can tie string from one tab to the other. And these are 2.5 wide, and they're just scraps that I had left. So I'm going to lay these aside for now. And get a clothespin, keep them together, otherwise I'll end up cutting them up for another piece. I don't want to do that. Alright. I'm going to lay these inside of my little pouch so I don't lose them. They'll be safe in there. Now I'm going to cut some pieces for here. Actually, I don't need the clothespin on it with them in there. The clothespin takes too much room. So there you go. I can put the clothespin on there. That'll be cute. A nice little pouch to put all kinds of journaling and what have you. Now I'm going to cut papers for this side and this side. I had thought about putting a hinge in each of these spines, but I think I'm not going to do that this time, because anything that I put here is going to mash into this, or it's going to stand up straight. It's not going to lay over like I want it to lay over. So I'll get all my flaps and what have you on the sides, and then we'll have plenty of embellishments in here. Okay, I'll be back soon as I cut some more pieces for you. Okay guys, for the center portion that we put together, I have added a piece of craft colored cardstock to the center. I cut 2 little 3/4 inch strips of the plaid paper, and then I put black behind it, and the black is 7/8 inch wide, and I just put it about a 1/2 inch from the right side and the bottom just to make a little crisscross pattern. Then I cut out this banner from the sticker sheet and put it on some black cardstock, and I'm going to just put it up at the top in the left corner. There actually. And I'm just going to put it across here. And then I have 3 little leaves that I'm going to stagger down the side. just look like they're kind of falling. And then this one. And then I cut out one of the gnomes, and this fall is in the air, and I'm going to put these down here. And on this one, I'm just going to glue the very bottom corner below the plaid, just to help as a stopper, so nothing falls through. But I don't think it's going anywhere anyway, because we got that flap down there, but just in case. So it's just going to be glued like that. And then we'll have the little gnome here. Now we have plenty of room in here. I didn't get any glue on the top of his hat. Have plenty of room to put photo mats, journaling spots, all kinds of things in here. And I will be adding paper to these. I just don't know which one I'm going to use yet. On the inside of the bottom flap, I have the papers cut for it. This little pocket is on your cut list. It is 5 5/8 by 5 7/8. And I punched with the mini envelope board with the edges folded under 1 1/4 inch from the edge. If you put this edge on the 1 1/4 inch and then punch and then cut straight between those two, you'll have that notch. Then I've trimmed my corners. I did have to do the notch on this one to make that match. So we need to put this down on the inside. Up our edges, and we don't want to go over that score line there, so that it will fold, and we're fine. Put it down to the bottom. There we go. Now I have a piece of green that will slide up under here. It's just the checked paper. Well, how am I getting up under there? Did that not glue down? There we go. Didn't have enough glue on it, obviously. Okay, now this needs to go up under the top of the little pocket. And I went around all my edges with the vintage photo. This will slide in here and go just below the black. Just a minute. There we go. And so this doesn't have to go all the way down, you know, because it's not going to show anyway. And we need to save our paper for where it's visible, so we can show off all the pretties. And then the sunflower paper is the reverse of the green check, so it's going to go here. have a photo mat to go down here. Oh man, look what I did. Oh no, I did it right. I thought I put glue on the wrong side. Here we go. And our photo mat. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now on the right side, when it lays flat, I refer to the right side and the left side and the center panel. So on the right side, I have cut a diagonal belly band. I get tired of the same thing all the time, you know, and I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I cut it on the diagonal. And the first thing I want to do though is I have a pocket or a flap that goes here, and this needs to be added first, and it's going to go right inside the outer edge of that panel. Need to trim my corners here. And this one is your 4 1/8 by 8 7/8. We'll put some glue on that. Okay, and that's going to go right inside this edge. Just like that. Push that down. I've inked that. So now this can go down. The burgundy. Or rust, I think it's more of a rust color. There's another one that's more of a burgundy. And I'm just going to put the art glitter glue on the wrong side of this. And you want to watch your fold lines. Don't get into your fold lines. I know we say that all the time, but it never hurts to repeat it, because I have gotten into mine before, and then you got to rip it out because that doesn't work right. It's all crimply and yucky looking. So that goes there. And we can add our, I didn't ink this one yet. And you will have a cut list in the description box when I'm through cutting all my pieces. I'm not done yet. I have to work section by section because I don't have enough space for everything. And if I cut out too much and get way ahead of myself, then it's really easy to forget what you had where, and at least it is for me. Alright. This is going to be attached to the diagonal band. Just shy of the top and the bottom. Okay, so we're going to glue this down, and I just folded it under and trimmed it from the edges a little bit so that the little points don't hang out, and this is going to go down on that portion, on that rust colored paper. And it will need to go fairly close to the left side. And close to the right side. And this will all be on your cut list. When I did this, I don't know if I put the cutting directions for the diagonal. What I did was I cut a 4-inch strip, 9 7/8 by 4, and I measured over 2 inches from the left and cut from that mark down to the corner with these tabs turned under, the half inches already turned under. And then I came down to this corner and I came over 2 inches and cut up to this corner, and that gave me my diagonal. I kind of like that. It's different. Okay, now, whoa, I got a landslide going here. Let me fold this up out of the way so I can move it over. I've got pieces cut for that side too. Okay, because we want to work on this little flap now. I have cut a pocket out of the craft, and then I have the green check, and I have to ink this. I've already inked the craft. And on this one is 9 7/8 by 3, and it's scored on 3 sides. And then I just took these two score lines and matched them up, and I made a little pinch mark in the center to get my center mark, and then I cut from the corner down to that center and then back to this corner. And I got to trim that a little bit more right there. Okay. So now we can put the green down. Yeah, I like the green on there better than the sunflowers. Too many patterns if I use the sunflowers. Here. Now, what do I do with that ribbon she sent me? Let me find it here real quick. I got a package of ribbon somewhere. I wanted to use a piece of it on that. There it is. I'm not sure which one I want to use. Either the champagne or I think this one. And what I want to do is, if you tie your ribbon around something that is round like this, you better make sure it's long enough first. Oops, I got a knot in it. I didn't mean to do that. I want to make sure I've got enough to wrap around that side. Okay. So wrap it around something round. Like this. Marker. Tie a knot. Then a second knot. And slide it off. and tighten it up. And cut it kind of on an angle. Oops. And you can pull on it a little bit. Pull too much on that one. I'll trim this one down a little bit. Then I want it down at this end. Wrap it around your piece like that. Cut that off. And I'll put some score tape on the back of it. It's going to hang over. I should have done more narrow, but I'll push it back. Oh, darn it. Can't get it started. Ain't got enough fingernails left. There we go. Okay. I want it like this. Hope I got the right end. Yeah, I did. This will go down here. Got too much on that end and barely enough on this one. This score tape's giving me a fit today. Here we go. Push it back off the edge. Push this one back off the edge too. I didn't do that yet. I don't want to sealing my flap down. Okay. Now, you can put this down. Oh, wait a minute. What was going to go in there? Oh, the plaid. Now that goes on the front. What was I going to put in here? It's going to go in there. Maybe I hadn't cut anything for this yet. It's not straight. Something for it. I don't know what my thinking was on that. I thought I had something cut for it. There's always a way to fix it. Cut a piece of paper. Okay. This is going to go just inside the score line. And it's going to match up with that. Now I'm going to turn this over. This goes over there. This little pocket is the 3 by 9 7/8, and it has the plaid on it. You gotta ink that. Oops. And it will just sit right below that little notched edge. And let me see. No. Oh, that didn't glue down very good. No, what's wrong with my glue today? Maybe I'm not burnishing it good enough. I wonder if I think maybe I intended to put this in here. See, that's what I mean. I get too far ahead of myself and I forget what goes where. Yeah, I think that's what I had in there. But then I don't have anything for that one that I know of. That is the plaid. See, I don't like those together. I don't like that together. I think I'll get that gnome paper. I'll cut a piece of that gnome paper and I'll put this up under here as soon as I ink it. I think that was my game plan anyway. That's what happens when I work too far ahead. Things don't stay put unless you paper clip them all together or clothespin them together. Then they move around. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh gosh, where did that one go? Okay. Right under that edge. Okay, yeah, I like that. That looks pretty together. Okay. And this closes. And this will sit up on this edge. And I had a little bracket cut, and I think I should have glued it down before this. Here it is. Bummer, I didn't do it. I wanted that to be there to hold this shut. I'll have to think of something. I'll come up with something. Let's put this down. Oh, it's way over the edge. Not paying attention. Cannot have that. There we go. Good thing I turned it over when I did. Okay. A little bit more glue under that after that mess up. I'm having a time with my glue today. I'll put a clothespin on that until I decide what I'm going to do with it. Stand a little bit more glue right here too. And then it might be our humidity that's doing this too. Not necessarily the glue. Because it is really humid in Texas. Okay, there's that. Alright, that's a stopping point for right now. I've got to cut paper for here. I've got to get these cut out. And then we need papers for this and these, inside and outside of that and outside of this. Alright, so I've got a lot more paper to cut, so I will be back as soon as I get that accomplished. Alright. Okay, excuse me, we are working on this inside of this folio. I've pretty much decided what I'm going to do with the rest of it. I'm going to close this bottom piece up so that I can drag this down on the board where you can see what I'm doing. I have cut out the pieces for this. Let me get rid of this score pal. I don't think I need it right now, and it's kind of in my way. Okay. Put it down here on the floor for the moment. And I dropped my ruler, which I will need that. Always need a ruler. Okay, so I have cut out my pieces for the inside of the top flap. I just clothespinned them down so I could get a measurement on the white. And I have inked them with the vintage photo. And I'm going to put these little 1-inch strip, or I think they're 1 1/4 inches. But you'll want to measure your piece to make sure that you may want a different margin than what I have, or, you know. And I'm going to place this down here, just leaving myself a small border. Just like that. And the other side, I like to put the smaller pieces down first because it's easier to trim the larger ones, and when you put them on your cutting board, it's easier to hang on to the larger pieces. So I put my small pieces in and then make the photo mat match. Okay, and there's that little feller. And this hopefully will work. Yes, that'll be fine. Fine and dandy. Okay, so we got a big photo mat here, which will be perfect for a 4x6. May have to trim it down just a hair, but not much. Okay. Make sure everything's down good and tight. Okay, now for the outside. I have cut branch or tree trunk paper for the outside here, which I can go ahead and attach down. Make sure I've got enough of a border there. And grab a piece of white paper to slide under it. It makes it easier to see my edges. There we go. And we'll put that down. This is just the cutest paper. But I love the gnomes. I think they're so cute. Don't have close enough to the edge here. There we go. So match up your edges. Now the little yellow one, excuse me, sits right in the center of this. And I want it to be, make sure I've got a, can go up just a hair. I want it to be about 1 inch from the top. Yeah, that's 1 inch. Okay. So let's put this yellow down. And this one I got out of the 6x6 paper pad. Didn't have this print in the 12x12, and it just kind of brings out all the other colors. And bring it over just a hair. There we go. Now in the center of this, I want to put one of these little 1 inch circles, and then I cut a 3/4 inch circle out of the design paper, and this is just the black Artisan, and I stacked 2 of them together, just punched them with a punch. And I want to put this in the center. This is almost 5. Well, it is 5, so let's make a mark. And I want to go up. How high do I want to be? I don't want it to be right on the bottom. Maybe a little higher. Yeah, about like that. So I'm going to make a mark at 2.5. And that's where my pen will go. And I have a little pokey tool here. Let me get a little mat, something to puncture on. Something here that I don't poke a hole in my table. I'm just going to lay it on this mat, poke a hole in it. There we go. Now I'm going to put this through. And I'm going to open it out in the back, but not really tight because you want some room in there to run your twine. know, when I put a photo mat or whatever on the back, it'll cover that up. But I am going to put a little piece of tape over it too before I cover it. Okay, so 1 inch was about, yeah, about there. Okay, so we're just going to, and I'm going to trim these scissors. Where are this? Oh, I put them up. Can you believe that? Cut those points off so they don't hang out, because I'm going to put a photo mat under it or something. Okay, so about, yeah, about there. That looks good. So let's put some glue on that. And an inch is right about there. Make sure it's even on top. That's an inch. And it's an inch. And that's an inch. So it looks pretty good. So we'll close that down. Press it down underneath. Okay. Now for the bottom. The bottom is the same way, only I have already embellished the inside of this, so I have to put it on here. So I'm going to lay my check in there where I want it. And I think I want it about here. So let me make sure I've got it.
Stop!
So basically, on that green.
In or out?
I think it's about, I'm trying to get a straight line. Make sure this is even, top to bottom. Alright, so right about here. It's about center of that green one. So let me make a mark right here. And I'll do my pokey tool again. Right on that spot. Okay. Now I'm going to put this one on. Just want a little piece of tape on the back of it just to anchor it. Make sure it stays where I put it. Might as well get a piece on the other one too while we're at it. This makes it a little bit smoother. Okay, now we can lift that up and we can glue this one down. Better move up. sure I'm where you can see what I'm doing. Got to pay attention here. Okay. And this is going to attach here. So you still got room under there for your twine. Okay. Close this up before I spill on my eyelids. Don't want to do that, they'll be everywhere. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is attach a piece of the, I don't know if I want to use that or white. I might want to put white here, but I'm going to put a 1-inch piece at the top and the bottom of this stripe, just to bring this stripe into here. So I will cut some more pieces and I'll be right back. Okay, I went ahead and cut some 1-inch strips by, they're 1 inch this way, 2 1/4 that way, and I notched each of them and glued them down so I could get a measurement for my white. I decided to use white instead of the craft. With the craft in there, it's just too much of the same color, at least to me. But you know, if you want to do craft, that's fine. It looks okay. I just kind of like the pop of the white and the black against the craft. But we all like different things, so whatever works is good. Whatever you like is the way it should be. And I'm just going to add these in here, and they can be for journaling or photos. I am not going to use my place photo stamp here on this one because somebody might want to journal on it. So I'm just going to leave it plain. And I don't normally ink the edges of the white cardstock. I think for some reason to me it seems to muddy it up. But you can if you want to. Like I said, it's yours. And we'll put this one down. And I've got to cut some for the back sides of these, but I usually wait for these small pieces to use up scraps after I get it on my larger pieces cut. So there's that. Go away, fly. Reinforce this fold. Here we go. And I cut a little scrap out of what was left of this to put on this tab over here, and I'll show you what I decided to do to make it work, because I just wanted a magnet over there. And I forgot to put it up underneath that rust colored design paper. That was my fault. Okay. What I did was I added it right on top, and I put another piece of this over the top of the black where it wasn't so obvious. And then when you've got your inserts and stuff in there, I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. But I just wanted something there. Now we're going to have all kinds of inserts and tuck spots under here, so we've got room to put things up under there and some loose things. I'll get to these after I get more scraps. Actually, I may have some at this point, not really sure. This is going to close this way. We'll get a photo mat under here and then tie our string here. So let's go to the left side of the front. And I am going to put down this rust colored as a background. Then I cut a frame, and I cut the center of it out, and I don't remember the measurements of it. Let me see real quick. There it is. Told you I always lose my ruler. This one is the piece that is 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and I scored my 3 sides at a half. I folded it under, and I measured a 1/2 inch all the way around, and then I just took my craft knife and cut out the center. And then I did the same thing for the frame. Only it's 3/8 of an inch. And I have inked that, so let me put that down on the frame. Sure that I've got just a little bit of the black showing all the way around. Come on now. Don't move on me. Well, darn it, it wants to slide for some reason. Here we go. So there's my little frame. And I need a piece of the buried in here, of the clear acrylic. This one might be big enough. I save all my little scraps. Let me see if that's big enough. Yes. Okay, so I need to cut it off about yonder. Let me cut this. Precise measurements, I'll cut it at yonder. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Okay. It's dusty. Wipe it off. Make sure there's no dust on my table so I can okay, and I will adhere that behind there. And I'm going to have to use a little of the art glitter glue. A lot of people use the score tape, but you need a really narrow piece for here, and I don't have any really narrow score tape. So I'm going to use the art glitter glue. And just don't squish it out. Where'd it go? It's hard to see once you lay it down. Now if you need to make it stick, rub away from your opening. And that way you can give it a little press. Don't rub it towards the opening, or you'll get glue squished out where you don't want it. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a minute. That that makes our little window. I think I might have got a little glue on it. I'll check it out and I'll be right back. Okay, this is set up for a while so we can go ahead and attach this little frame down here. And I'm just going to glue it on the 3 sides and put it just, I do want to trim this just a hair on the corner, just get these edges off. Take just a hair off of this so it doesn't hang over the little frame. Okay, now let's glue these down. Left my pin out of it, I think. It dried at the top. Oh, please. It always wants to do that when you're doing a video. Can't cooperate. Alright. Let's try this again. Here we go. Want it close to the edge, but not. Come on, glue. Give me a break here. Must have a dry clump in there. Whoops, I want it in there. Here we go, that's better. Now on the bottom. Just going to do it again. What a pain in the rear. There we go. Couldn't get it lined up. Alright, here we go. Good job, I think I got it this time. Okay, just down from the top a hair. And there'll be a little bit of that rust showing on each side and at the top. Remember, we didn't glue the top. That stays open so we can put a photo in there. Okay. Whoops. Okay, now these little 3 pieces are your little waterfall pieces, and they're going to go just below this. And you don't want to trim these off because you want to be able to line them up and square them up. And I've already attached my photo mats to them. And I'm going to leave just a hair below that frame. And I want to line it up at the sides. Make sure it's nice and straight. Then the second one will go right under it. Make sure that's lined up. Yep. I don't want it to cover that. There we go. So there's number 2. And then the third one. Go right below that one. We'll just put it right up to it. There we go, that's all 3 of them. Now I can cut another photo mat or a journaling spot or whatever to go there, but I'll do it in white as well. But you see how it's going to cover it. And then I have cut a little piece to go down at the bottom, and I'm going to trim that off and make it narrower. Can't speak. Because I want a little tuck spot to hold these down. So this one is right now 1 inch. I'm going to cut it at 5/8. See if I can hang on to it long enough to cut it in 5/8. Get it straight. I just want a little bracket down here to hold it, but I don't want it to stick up above these. There, that'll be better. Okay. So that is 5/8, and it's scored at 1/2 on each end. And then I want just a little bit of glue along the bottom to hold it down, and I want to center it between these, and I want it right on the bottom. You know, I don't think I'm going to cut another piece because I don't think that's straight and I don't like it. So I'm going to cut another piece. This is, let's see how wide it is. It is 5 3/8. So let me cut them. 5 3/8. And I will score each end that I have. Instead of 5/8, I'm going to cut it at 3/4 and see what happens. And if I need to, I'll cut another one. Okay, let's see what 3/4 does. I just didn't like it. I put 3/4 at the bottom. No, see, that's too much. Okay, so 5/8 is going to work. Right there, I can hang on to it. It's hard to hang on to these small pieces. And cut them straight, they like to wiggle. Okay. Here's 5/8 again. Okay, that's better. And then I'll cut a little piece of the design scrap to go down there. Oops. Okay, now we've got our little tuck spot, and I don't think I put any glue on the bottom, so we may right up under here with a little bit of glue. Just so it doesn't let anything fall through. And we'll cut out some of the stickers or some of the other embellishments and stick them under there, or some cut aparts to hold this down. Okay, let me see, what have I got I can put in there? Is this long enough? Yep. So we only need a 1/2 inch. And we'll cut off the little orange stripe. Let's ink that up. That's why I save scraps. Okay. But today I am going through all of my scraps I've saved since I'm moving. I'm getting rid of them because I'm not going to haul them 1,000 miles. And it's expensive to ship boxes of paper because of the weight. There we go. And that'll be my tuck spot. Okay, let me this is 5. I'm going to cut it at 5 to make it square off. And then I'm going to score it at 2.5. And I'll do something with it later, but it will make a stopper. And this just happens to be a scrap. And we'll make a little booklet out of this. And that can be our stopper. Ta-da! It works, doesn't it? Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to go see if I've got any twine that I can use for this. I think I've got a little bit of jute or something. I'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back at it. I thought I had the camera going and I didn't, but all I have done is just add some pieces of paper, and I'll show you what I've done. I added the gold background with the gnomes on it on the inside of this top flap, and then I added a solid on the inside of these 2 flaps, and I cut out a little photo mat that I'm going to put in here with just a little banner of some sort, but I'm not going to glue it down till I decide what piece of ephemera or sticker I want to put in there, because as you can see there's some extra space and I want to fill it up. So those are going to go on the inside of that, and I'll lay these aside. Then I cut a rectangle, and I'm going to put it in the landscape orientation. I put it on a little black artisan card, and I'm going to put it up under here. That way it'll cover that hinge and give us another photo area. So I'm just going to put that down, and we'll come back with the ephemera and the stickers and do all our embellishing last. And we've got yet to make the outside cover, and then we'll be done. This has really went pretty quick, I think. So I'm going to put that in there, just down from the, make sure it's got, yep, it covers, okay. Just wanted to make sure it was hidden under there. And the reason I put it on the black was because you would have white on white and it just kind of faded into the background, so I thought the black would bring it forward and also match this. So there's that. Alright, let's lift this up, fold this one up, this one down. Now for my tie that I was going to do earlier, what I decided to do was I looked through my stash of charms, and I had 2 little gold but bees. I had to stop and think what they were. They're bees. And I decided to tie 1 bee on the top and 1 bee on the bottom. So I'm going to put a double knot up under there, and then I'm going to loop this around here like that. And then I'll leave just a little extra to tie the bee to. And we'll have a bee hanging from the top and one from the bottom. Oops, thought I had a hold of it and it slipped right out of my fingers. Come on, it wants to kind of fray on me, not all come through. Okay, now I got it. So we can take this up here a little ways and tie a knot. And a second knot, make sure he's going to stay put. Okay, and we'll trim this off. A little shorter. And one on the bottom. It always wants to give you a fit when you try to put it through a tiny hole, you know. Darn it, it just keeps pulling away from me. Got it started. There we go. Make sure I got the gold through there too. Okay. Now I'm going to put a little glue on my finger, a little artisan glue, and dab it to the end of these to keep them from coming apart. There we go. Alright, that's it for now. I've got to cut my papers for it outside of the cover, and I will come back and we'll put that together, and then we'll get started on our embellishments. But we're getting there, kids. We're just about done. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll be back shortly and we'll do the outside cover. Okay, for the cover, I have attached my ribbon with score tape, and I have cut out my pieces for the front. I am going to lay down the craft cardstock and the green plaid on top of it. And on this side I will do the craft with the sunflowers. And that weighs up. Okay, so let's put those down. I like to keep my covers fairly simple. Yeah. I like, you know, some interest and some texture to them, but I don't like so much stuff on them that they're just going to be a big old fat dust magnet. I have enough to dust as it is. Okay, so let's get some art glitter glue on here. Make sure you get it out to your corners. You sure don't want them to lift up on you. positioned. Make sure I've got my edges even. That looks pretty good. Not too far. There we go. Yeah, I'm a little bit crooked. See if I can lift this up and pivot just a little. Oh, mercy, Bobby. There. Much better. Caught it in time. Okay. Here's that. Now the green. Okay. Now this is going to go down with a little border of the craft showing. That looks good. Now let's go to this side. Still got my little insert here to fix. And we'll put this one down. Make sure I'm still in frame. Yep, you can see it. Okay. I gotta keep checking myself. Did I? Yeah, I inked that. I had to check myself again. Okay. And we're going to put this one down. Again, leaving just a little border of the craft. Paper is so pretty. Okay, now back to this side. What I'm going to put on the front, I have cut out 3 little scallop circles, and I just used some dies that I had in my stash. So let me see, here they are. I just layered one of the plain circles for the inside edge of the circle, and then the scalloped for the outside edge, and I just taped them down and cut 3 little frames so that I can stack them together. And I'm just going to put some more glitter glue on there. So we've got some dimension to it. And just stack them up. And the third one. I'll show you little scallops match. There we go. I slid it a little bit too much. Okay. Now, this one, this little circle, is just a little bit bigger than that. It's the solid circle that is the same size as the scallop. And I'm just going to put some art glitter glue on it. I'm not making a frame out of this that you can insert a photo behind. You can if you want to, but I just didn't feel the need for it. And I'm going to put this right up here. I'm going to put my frame over it. Just like that. Put that down. Now, I decided on this little gnome to put on the outside of my frame. And I'm just going to attach him down here like that, so he kind of overlaps the inside. I don't think I've got any glue under his hat, and I want his hat glued down. So he just sits on there. Then I arranged 3 little sunflowers that I had in my stash. And I just cut out a strip of black, kind of in a C shape, and just attached my leaves and sunflowers. Well, I'll tell you, can't think of it. To that, and I'm going to add some glue. These already had dimensional tape on the back of them, but I'm going to put some glue on there just. And I'm going to attach this right like that. Actually, I want to bring it over just a little bit like that. And then this is one of the ephemeras, says celebrate the season of thanks. And I'm going to put that down here, and it will overlap just a little bit, but that's okay. So from the word thanks, I want it to be glued. Just like that. And then I want to find some little embellishments here. See what kind of enamel dots I've got that I can put on there. These are a little too mustardy yellow. And I think those might be too bright. Let me see what else I got. Got these little hearts and stars, but I don't want those. Not for this project. Okay, let me see what these are. Here's 3 little yellow ones. Okay, those will work. Okay. See what else. And that one is not the same color. See if I got any more of that color. No, that's it. Got lots of them, but it's more of a lemony yellow. It might work. I like that other one better though. That's what happens when you get a choice. You find one you like better and then you don't have enough. That's the same color as that, and it's the little ones. Look through one more time. And that one's real gold. And that one's the same. Looking to see if I got any more of that yellow. That's too lemony. Okay, that's gonna have to do. It'll be okay. I'll make it work. Let me put this little bucket over here. So I'm going to add, I think I'll add these larger ones up here. Three of them. Maybe a tiny one here. That'll work. Okay. Now this will tie to the side. Of course, we don't have all our inserts inside, so that's going to help fill it up. Let me get rid of these. Okay, got that put away. Now, on the inside, have to be careful of this till it dries. For these spines on the inside, I took some craft cardstock and I ran it through an embossing folder that's called, I think it's called Pretty Blossom, Pretty Petals, something like that. This one goes over here on the larger side. And I just embossed it. I went over it with the Wild Honey Distress Oxide, and then went around the edges with the Vintage Photo. And I'm just going to put that in my spine so that I can pick up this yellow. Okay. This one is 8 7/8 by 7/8. And then this one is 1 inch by 8 7/8. Now I will go ahead and finish the outside of the spines and the back of the cover off screen because they won't be anything earth-shattering, fairly plain. I will show them to you on the final walkthrough so that you can see what papers I chose. But for the rest of the tutorial, I'm going to focus on the inserts and making my own glassine bags for little pockets. So let's put this one in here. So I will be stopping the camera just for a short while, long enough to cut out the pieces I need for the glassine bags and the inserts. And then I'll be back with you and we'll embellish this little booklet too. Okay, let me run this up here. Make sure my edges are down good. Okay, there we go. The front cover is done. And like I said, I've just got the 2 spines and the back. And that's where my ribbon is for this side, is on the back. Alright, I'll be back shortly and we will work on our inserts. Alright guys, see you shortly. Okay guys, we have 2 tags ready to make. I've got my pieces cut out. And then we'll go from there. The first one that I have is just your basic tag shape. It measures, and I never can find a ruler when I need it. I've got so much stuff out here in this little area, it's amazing how much junk you get in one spot. Junk, it ain't junk. Here's a ruler. It really isn't junk, but it looks junky in here right now. This one is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. And I just angled my edges, inked it with the vintage photo, and then I cut a piece of the design paper, and I'm just using scraps from the original project we've been working on. I just want to ink these edges here. And I'm going to glue that down on the tag. These are so simple, but they're cute. They're just adorable. And they make nice places to put photos. So we're going to glue that on the tag. Make sure I've got it centered here. Okay, and then I've got a frame from the ephemera package, and I've put a piece of acrylic behind it and some of the dimensional tape, some real skinny strips, and I stamped place photo here on a scrap of white cardstock, and I'm going to place this over that and just stick it down, and then I'm going to cut it around it just with my scissors. Now see, we've got room in there to stick the photo. And I am going to angle this on top of that tag. And I'm not going to glue it all the way. I'm just going to glue it in the middle, and I can lift it and stick some leaves or something under it just to further embellish it. I'm going to put that like that. And it's going to hang off, but that's okay. And I'm going to put this little wheelbarrow down here. And I need Tammy's phone box to make it sit up straight at the bottom because of the frame. And it's going to be right down here. And I just backed, this is one of the stickers, and I backed it on some black cardstock just so it stands out. That's going to go here. And then I need another skinny strip or something. What did I do with those other ones I had? I had some real skinny strips here off of an old, what did I do with it? Oh, here it is. This little skinny strip here of dimensional adhesive I want to put behind this. Cut it off right here. And another one here. And I'm put a double piece at the end here to make it sit up where it falls off the edge of the wheelbarrow. All blessings. Okay, now I'll punch a hole up here and put a ribbon, and I will put a fold mat on the back of that. And I'll use some of these other embellishments. I've got a lot of stuff to make these with. Now on the second one, same size tag, and I have more scraps again, and I'm just gonna use two colors because I didn't have enough of any one piece, and I didn't want to cut into a whole new sheet. So this is going to go at the top. And this goes at the bottom. Down here. Just go like that. Now it goes like this. Okay, had it right the first time. Tie a ribbon around it. I want to bow over towards this side. Just a little bow. Nothing spectacular. I'm not a real good bow tire anyway. And it never works when you're on camera anyway. It's hard to get your fingers in there and get a hold of it because it's so tiny. I knew I was going to do that. And get a hold of these tails here. Straighten that out. I just want a tiny bow here. I'm not the best bow maker anyway. It's all crinkled up and I don't want it crinkled. And the crinkle would be a little tricky. It's not cooperating. Okay. That's so big. Alright. We trim this little tail down. And this one too. Second one tag, it's going to go on there. This is just the same basic tag, just smaller version. And I'll tell you the measurements of it here in a second. Let me put this on here. It's going to go at an angle. And scoot my bow over a little bit. There. And just to sit under the bow. There. I wanted it on top of the ribbon, but under the bow. There, that's better. Okay, let's put a little glue on this. And we're going to put the turkey on here, and I backed him on some black cardstock too. And this little piece is off of one of the branding strips. It says gobble gobble. I'm just going to put that up here. And then again, I'll punch a hole up here and add some baker's twine or something. It's glue and it'll come off. On the back side, in order to cover up the ribbon, I'm going to put a photo mat. And I have a little scrap piece of that, what I created for the spine in the album. And I had done a piece in the fired brick, distress ink. I thought I might want red in the spine, but I didn't end up using it. So I'm going to put a piece of it back here, and then the photo mat. Trim this off a little bit. Yeah, I do. Let me trim that down just a hair. Our photo mat on the back and our little tag on the front, and then the other one has the picture frame on it, and I'll put a photo mat back here as well. Alright, and I'll be back with some more embellishments shortly. Alright, we have excuse me, 4 inserts to create today. The first one I want to share with you is, and I didn't write down the measurement, let me do that, is 5 by 9. And then when you put it in your, excuse me, scoreboard, you're going to score at 1/2 and 2.5. And then you want to score just the bottom portion up to this 2.5. You want to score that at 1/2 inch. Then we're going to cut out these little corners, and we're going to cut it out from the score line to the top. And then I notched the top edge and inked it with Vintage Photo, and then this one folds down, and I'm going to put a piece of trim on there. You can fill this little pocket with tags, photo mats, pieces of ephemera, whatever. But that will be one project that I'll make today. The second one has 3 pieces to it. This base is, I think it's 6 by 7. Let me write that on there, what I do with my pencil, so I can put this on my cut list. 6 by 7. I haven't put these on the cut list yet, and I have inked each of them. There's only 3 pieces to this one. This one is 5.5 by 6, and I'm going to use the art glitter glue to attach it. And you don't have to cut these corners, miter them at all, because or angle cut them, because they're not going to the top. If it was going all the way to the top, then I would trim it at the corners just so I didn't have any overhang. And I just want to eyeball this in the center. Sort of. That looks pretty good. And I want to put it down right on the edge. Don't want it to hang over. Looks like an ink mark, but it's going to be covered anyway. And then this one is 4 by 4.5, and it's going to be the same way. Now you can either put a magnet on this or some baker's twine or a piece of ribbon if you want to do that. I probably will put a magnet on mine. And then I'm going to put this one in about center ways of the first attachment. And press it into place. Okay. And magnet right here. And most of you probably already know that you want to keep your magnets far enough away from the edge so that your paper will lay down good. If you get it too close, then your paper out here isn't going to want to lay. So I'm going to move it over like so. Need a positive now. And I want a piece of double-sided tape. I just like the double-sided tape for security. You don't have to have it, but I just like it. So I'm going to put this one with the sticky side up. Put my magnet down. Take this sticky little tab off. And press this into place. Boy, they're tight. They work good. These are the basic gray magnets that you get from Tammy. Okay, so let's put that one down. Now when I cover these, and this is just what I like to do, of course you can do whatever you like to do. Maybe put the clothespin on this so it quits popping up. Ain't gonna work, it ain't heavy enough. I have all these scraps over here, and I like to square them up in inch or half-inch pieces and lay these in place where I want them first, and then cut my photo mat. I don't think that you have to have a specific 4x6 or 3x5 or 5x7, because very few of us ever go to a photo mat anymore. Actually, I don't even know if the photo mats exist anymore. I remember when we used to have the rolls of film in our camera, and we would have to take them and drop them off for processing, but most everybody prints their own pictures at home nowadays. So I think with that in mind, you can make your photo mat any size you want, because you can resize it on your computer. So I will go through and I'll cut some of my scraps down so that I can use them, and then I'll come back and we'll do that one together. I just wanted to show you the basics of each of these. And then we have that little booklet that goes to hold the waterfall shut, and I just inked it up and I notched the corner like some of the other pieces in there. Then we're going to make a glassine bag, and here's one that I have created. It's just a small one, and I inked it with what is this called? Bundled Sage Distress Oxide, so that it's kind of got a green hue to it. And I have these doily dies in my stash, and I have just really fallen in love with using them. I think they're so precious, and they add so much to your layout. So I just punched out a little tag with a die that I had, and the leaves are also from a die. And then this little corn comes from the sticker sheet, and I just put it on a piece of black Artisan Cardstock, and then I punched a hole here and added a little baker's twine. And I just have a plain white tag in here for now. I haven't done anything with it, but they're so easy to make. So let's make one of those first. Okay, I have a piece of, all you need for this is parchment paper from your kitchen. Isn't that awesome? I was sitting there, I made several of these the other day, And then I was sitting there this morning with my coffee, and I turned on YouTube, and what pops up from a year ago, a lady did a video on make your own glassine bags of any size, and I thought, how awesome, somebody else had the same idea only a long time ago. But anyway, here's the way I do it. I did not watch her tutorial. I didn't pay any attention to her name. I just had already figured out what I wanted to do, so I'm going to go with that. So anyway, this piece is 7.5 by 7 1/4, and I folded it so that I left a 1/2 inch here on the right hand side so that we can seal it shut. And you just want to fold that, and I'm just going to lay my... Okay, sorry about that, I had to change the batteries. Okay, so I'm going to lay my ruler down along the edge where that one piece is cut, and I'm just going to take my finger. It's hard to see. Because it's so light and sheer. And just press that up against the ruler to get a straight edge. And then fold this over. Okay, now on the bottom, we want to do the same thing just on this half. No, we don't. We want it on this half. Sorry about that. So, I'm going to give it about the same. I hope I'm getting it straight. And I'm just going to fold this up. This is going to be our bottom, and we'll cut the other section out as well as this little corner. Okay. Let me fold it up so I've got and if we need to, we can trim it off. Okay, dokie. Oh, right there's my scissors. So we're going to cut up on this little fold here, and we're going to cut out this section. If it's not perfectly straight, it's not the end of the world, because that little folded up part is going to be covering this edge anyway. Okay. Oops, I lost a light. Let me fix it here. What happened? Okay, that's better. Got a little dark on me. Okay, and we're going to cut out this little corner section here. And I kind of angled that top piece because it's going to fold in first. And we want a little rounder. I got a rounder here somewhere. I just want to round those two bottom edges slightly. Let's make sure this is cut off straight. Got a little overhang there. Still got a little bit, and I'm trying not to get into my edge. There we go. Okay, now we want to put this under there. Just round that a little bit. And this one the same way. Okay, that's a cheapy corner rounder. Okay, so now what's going to happen is this folds over. This will get glued down, and this little flap will get glued up like that. So what you need to decide now is, how tall do you want it? Do you want to put long photo mats in it? Do you want to put short tags in it? Whatever you want to do. Okay, so this back part needs to be longer than the front. So what I want to do is take out 1 inch off of this front section. So I'm just going to put it in my trimmer at 1 inch, and I'm going to take it right to this score line, or close to it, and I'm going to cut that out. And I did want to tell you too, if you were trimming from this end, don't start from outside the edge and push on it, because it'll rip. It's so thin. You always want to start in the center of your paper and work out towards the edges, just to get a nice clean cut. And then we're going to cut this off. So far this is what we've got. That folds under this. Now we need to round our top. And if you want it longer, you certainly can make it longer. I just fold mine over without creasing it. Just a light fold, match up these 2 top corners. And I like to start from the edge. And just give it a little bit of a curve. Let's hope I get it straight. There we go. Now I see I want this shorter, so I'm going to take off another 1/2 inch. I just think it needs more of a top. So I'm going to go back to that score line, take out a 1/2 inch, and then cut that off. And line it up here just like we do on album covers, and trim that off. So there's your glassine bag. I just thought I'd make one plain today, so that you could get the idea of how it works. I'm going to trim this little corner here. Now we can glue this down, put a little glue on this tab. And fold that over. And then I want to put some glue here. That little corner didn't get any glue. There we go. Okay. And then fold this little bottom tab up. Now, see? You've got your glassine bag and it's open all the way to the bottom. Isn't that cool? I love that idea. So, that's it for that one. I'm going to trim up my scraps and get them ready to do the other 3 little parts here, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, for this glassine bag, I have just cut some strips of the design paper, and I thought I'd share that with you. I cut a 3/4 inch strip, and I'm just going to line it up across there and cut it off even with the sides, and I'm just going to put it on here. Try to get it as straight as I can. I'm a little compromised in that neighborhood. And then I've got a piece of the green stripe. And I'll overlap that just a tiny bit. Does that look straight? Let me get my ruler and see how close I am. That is a 1/2 inch. That's a 1/2 inch, so it's straight. Okay, so I'm going to cut these off on the bottom, or the side. Just even with the side, without cutting my bag open, hopefully. Okay. Now I have this little piece of the rust with the leaves in it that I made a little fishtail banner. And I'm going to stagger that over the two. There's a mosquito in here and it is bugging the living daylights out of me. Put that little banner on there, and then I'm going to use this little gnome that's holding the daisy. Isn't he cute? He's so cute. And I'm just going to put this on there. I had done a bunch of the stickers the other day and put them on black cardstock and just laid them aside until I decided what I wanted to do with them. There we go. And then I made the tag, and I just cut a piece of black cardstock, and I used this tree bark thing, and I put a photo mat and a journaling spot on there with one of the little stickers, a daisy. And then on the back I just put the stripe paper with a little border of the rust, and you can put another photo back there. So this will just slide right in the little glassine bag. Isn't that cute? So there's another project done, another embellishment. So what I will do next is work on these, and I will come back and I will touch base with you as I work along and explain to you what I'm doing. I try to do as much off screen as I can because it saves a lot of time in the video, and there's no sense you having to watch me cut paper and ink edges and do all of that. But I will explain to you exactly what I've done. Alright, I'll be back shortly.